from WFRV-TV, Green Bay, Fox Cities, and the Lakeshore. This is Local 5 News at 4 in HD.
And good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us for Local 5 News at 4. I'm Chris Schuler. We begin this afternoon with some breaking news. A federal judge has ordered the release of Brendan Dassey from prison. Now, that ruling was filed this afternoon. Dassey and his uncle, Stephen Avery, were sentenced to life in prison for the 2005 murder of Teresa Halbach. Now, earlier this year, Dassey's attorney said his confession was coerced. Dassey, who was 16 at the time of the murder, told police he helped Avery murder Halbach. In August, the same federal judge agreed that Dassey's confession was coerced and overturned his conviction. Now, last month, the state's Attorney General Brad Schimmel filed an appeal challenging that ruling. But this afternoon, the judge ruled the state's appeal was insufficient and ordered Dassey released. Now, Schimmel said today he intends to file an emergency motion blocking today's release order. Now, one of the main reasons for the release is the judge believes that Dassey is not considered a flight risk. The judge also said he believes Dassey will follow rules and instructions given to him if a retrial were to happen. Conditions of the release include Dassey to obey laws, appear in court, abstain from using a gun or weapon. He must also avoid possessing controlled substances. He also cannot have contact Stephen Avery or the Halbach family. Now, this afternoon, Brad Dassey's Brandon's half-brother released a statement about Dassey's release. It said, my brother is one step closer to the freedom he deserves. My heart is pumping beyond belief. I'm extremely ecstatic to hear he'll finally get a taste of freedom until things are completely resolved. Now, despite what people say, I love and care about my brother Brendan. I always have and always will. Now, obviously, this announcement today is many people talking in Manitowoc County. That's where the alleged murder took place. And Local 5's Steve Dent joins us live from Manitowoc County with this story. Hi, Steve.
Well, hey, Chris, people here in Manitowoc were shocked, whether they were for Brendan Dassey getting out of prison or for him staying behind bars. Nobody I talked to today had heard the news, and they were all very surprised to learn that Brendan Dassey will get out of prison. Now, I spent the last hour and a half taking a stroll through downtown Manitowoc, trying to get reaction, and I certainly got a good mix from people. Some people were very happy to hear about Dassey's release, while other people were not so enthusiastic, and while others are just wanting this whole ordeal to be over with.
I think the community's just kind of fed up with it after the whole documentary and everything. I think everybody's just done talking about it and just wants it to be over with already.
But that case, there's something definitely wrong with it. I carry that with me all the time because I know I wouldn't like it to happen to me.
Now, none of the people that I talked to that want to see Brendan Dassey stay behind bars would go on camera. Their reactions were all very similar. It was a roll of the eyes and a shake of the head in disapproval. Live in Manitowoc, Steve Dent, Local 5 News.
All right, we thank you, Steve. Well, Stephen Avery is still serving a life sentence. He was also a subject of the documentary, Making a Murderer, that accuses the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office of planting evidence framing Avery. We will continue to update this story with more information as soon as it becomes available. And good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us for Local 5 News at 4. I am Chris Schuler. Topping our news today, America has chosen a new president. Donald Trump will become the 45th president of the U.S. Now, Trump won 289 electoral votes of the 270 needed to win the presidency. Those results are finalized, even with 3 states still considered up for grabs, those being Minnesota, Michigan, and New Hampshire. Early this morning, Trump told supporters he is looking forward to bringing a divided America back together.
Working together, we will begin the urgent task of rebuilding our nation and renewing the American dream. I've spent my entire life in business looking at the untapped potential in projects and in people all over the world. That is now what I want to do for our country.
After not addressing her supporters last night, Hillary Clinton spoke to them this morning when she gave her concession speech in New York. Mrs. Clinton says the country needs to be open-minded and to give Donald Trump a chance to move the nation forward.
Donald Trump is going to be our president. We owe him an open mind and the chance to lead. Our constitutional democracy enshrines the peaceful transfer of power. And we don't just respect that, we cherish it.
Also giving a speech today right after Mrs. Clinton, President Barack Obama, he addressed the nation from the White House just before noon. The president congratulated Mr. Trump on his win. He also says he is looking forward to seeing Donald Trump succeed as commander-in-chief.
We are now all rooting for his success in uniting and leading the country. The peaceful transition of power is one of the hallmarks of our democracy. And over the next few months, we are going to show that to the world.
House Speaker Paul Ryan held a news conference this morning congratulating Trump on his historic win. Ryan won re-election for his seat against Democrat Ryan Solon and will remain House Speaker. Now, he also went on to congratulate a list of Republicans who now control both houses of Congress. Ryan says one of the first jobs of the administration will be to bring the country together.
But Donald Trump heard a voice out in this country that no one else heard. He connected in ways with people no one else did. He turned politics on its head. And now, Donald Trump will lead a unified Republican government.
Now, Paul Ryan has made headlines in the past for not supporting Donald Trump and for being at odds with the Republican Party's nominee. Another race that received a lot of attention, not just in Wisconsin, but around the country, was the state's U.S. Senate race. Democrat Russ Feingold challenged incumbent U.S. Senator Ron Johnson. Now, Feingold was defeated by a margin of 53% to 47%. Johnson told supporters last night that he intends to keep fighting to move the country and Wisconsin forward.
We've got a chance. We've got to put America on the right path. And the way we're going to do it, is we're going to be concentrating on the areas of agreement. And here's the number one area of agreement that we start with. As Americans, as Wisconsinites, we really do share the same goal.
Another election important to Northeast Wisconsin was the 8th Congressional District race. Democrat Tom Nelson took on Republican Mike Gallagher, and Gallagher won this race last night. He told his supporters that Wisconsin values are what makes his message work.
That's Wisconsin values. That's Wisconsin common sense. And that was our whole secret. It wasn't a PR firm or a bunch of consultants that came up with it. It was you. It was the people in this room. It came from all of you, and I asked for your advice. You gave it.
Taking a look now at other races impacting Northeast Wisconsin, incumbent Representative Glenn Grothman defeated Democratic challenger Sarah Lloyd, 61% to 39%. In the race for the state Senate 18th District seat, Republican Dan Fine defeated Democratic challenger Mark Harris, 56% to 44%. For a list of election results for races around the state of Wisconsin, simply head to this website, which is our website, wearegreenbay.com.
Continuing coverage tonight of a shooting at a high school prom in Antigo. Thank you for joining us. Shelley is off tonight. More questions tonight about why an 18-year-old man shot and injured 2 students as they left the high school prom. Police tell us the gunman was then shot and killed by an officer already at the school. The gunman is identified today as Jacob Wagner, a graduate of Antigo High School. An administrator with the Antigo School District described Wagner as a student with a disability who was part of a community-based program that paid him to volunteer in Antigo's art department. Here's what we know so far about the shooting at Antigo High School. The prom came to an end around 11 Saturday night. That's when police tell us that Wagner arrived outside the school and fired a rifle, hitting 2 students as they left the event. One of the victims, an Antigo student, received non-life-threatening injuries and underwent surgery on his leg. The student's date, who was from out of state, was treated for a graze wound and released. A police officer already in the parking lot heard gunshots and returned fire. Wagner eventually died from his injuries at a nearby hospital. The State Department of Justice is now investigating the shooting. This shooting has left the small town of Antigo in a state of shock, and many people are trying to figure out why it happened. Today, Local 5's Steve Dent traveled to Antigo to ask people what they saw and what they know. He joins us live in the newsroom now with that story. Steve, what can you tell us?
Well, Aaron, the people in Antigo were understandably shocked and shaken. They couldn't believe that a shooting took place in their town the size of 8,000 people. And on such a special night, it's supposed to be prom night. The kids are supposed to be out there having a good time. Instead, it turned into a tragedy. But the people of Antigo were very thankful to the police force who reacted so quickly, because this could have ended up being a lot worse. Antigo residents are having a hard time coming to grips
That's what we pray for.
that a shooting happened in their small community on prom night.
It's shocking. I know it's hitting me pretty hard. You know, the safety of our children is, I mean, it's our kids.
I think it's something that no one ever would have imagined, and what these kids are going through, and the victim's family, and the shooter's family, and just the whole community.
It's in your front yard.
Philip Bassinet lives next to the high school. He heard gunshots when he got home from work around 11 o'clock.
It was very loud, very close. It was multiple rounds, like just a rain of fire, and it got scary. I ran in the house.
Meanwhile, Drew Schwartz, a junior, was in the school during a 3-hour lockdown.
Oh yeah, I was texting my friends. They were all worried about me. My parents were really worried about me.
Fortunately, police were already on the scene and able to respond, shooting 18-year-old Jacob Wagner, who died later at the hospital.
Right place, right time, and with, you know, some luck in the training that we do, you know, that we hope we never have to use. Unfortunately, had to use it.
But it could have been a whole lot worse for the small town of Antigo.
The right people in the right place at the right time.
Today, Antigo held a vigil to help the community rally together.
Antigo is strong going through this. Again, the police force and everybody in charge around here and around that school was major respect for them, because they did great.
And Drew Schwartz told me that he will be in school tomorrow and that the school will provide counselors if the students need somebody to talk to. Live in the newsroom, Steve Dent, Local 5 News.
Thank you, Steve. This afternoon, Governor Scott Walker released a statement regarding the shooting at Antigo High School. It reads, "Tonette and I send our thoughts and prayers to the students of Antigo High School, their families, and the community of Antigo. We pray for the full recovery of those injured, and we praise the response of the Antigo Police Department, which undoubtedly saved lives." For the latest on this story, you can head to our website, wearegreenbay.com. In other news tonight, human trafficking is a problem that can leave lives in ruins. Tonight, a nonprofit organization hosted a gala event at the Meyer Theater to raise awareness and funds. The organization hopes to build a house in this area for survivors who have been rescued from human trafficking. People who spoke at the event tonight included one woman who was rescued from the horrors of the human trafficking trade.
I was in it for about 2 years. This was 7 years ago. And just along the way of my journey, people had planted seeds in me along the way of just hope and life when I was hopeless. And so it's my joy to be on the team now and to be able to plant those seeds into the lives of broken and lost women and girls.
Last year, several people were arrested for trafficking in Appleton, Fond du Lac, and Oshkosh. A Milwaukee Brewers player is among those helping in the fight against human trafficking. On a typical summer evening, you'll find Blaine Boyer on the pitcher's mound at Miller Park. But in November, he set out on a dangerous 10-day mission to rescue underage sex slaves. Reporter Evan Krugel has the story from our sister station in Milwaukee.
You've seen him do this time and time again. But Blaine Boyer has another passion, one that extends off the field, fighting sex trafficking across the world.
It's a terrible tragedy. It's a terrible situation that a lot of people are in, and these people need fighting for.
In November, Boyer traveled with former big leaguer Adam LaRoche to Southeast Asia, performing undercover work with the Exodus Road, a group working to locate and rescue underage sex slaves.
We were able to get out there and see the problem firsthand, see what was going on, and deeply affected both of us, probably in a way that it's never done before. Anything in my life has affected me like that.
To protect their work, Boyer couldn't give specifics about the operation, but he calls the trip a heartbreaking experience.
We could never expect the emotional toil that it had on ourselves, on our families.
So much so that the return home was not easy.
It's just a terrible feeling to know what's going on nightly, to know what's going on with a lot of these children, and you know, just to come back to play a game, you know, that seems there's just not something right.
Now he's turning his focus to raising awareness, hoping fans who look up to him come forward to stop the problem.
If they're going to look up to me, you know, certainly don't look up to me because I play baseball. You know, we decided to go do something, and hopefully we can empower some people to go do the same thing.
And thanks to reporter Evan Krugel. Boyer says he plans on traveling across the country and the world to continue this fight.
Well, tonight is the celebration of America's birthday, the 4th of July, and thousands of people across northeast Wisconsin will be watching fireworks. Now, we have team coverage for you tonight of Local 5's fireworks night over northeast Wisconsin with reporters in Green Bay, Manitowoc, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac. We're going to start with Brittany Falkers, who's live at Green Bay's City Deck. Brittany.
Hey, Chris, it is awesome down here on the City Deck in downtown Green Bay. It's just getting busier and busier. And I said it earlier, the food smells are amazing. In true Wisconsin style, we've got all of the brats, the cheese curds, all of those yummy foods. And we've got some great live entertainment too here for you. You can see the bands and everything across or right behind me. Lots of tents with different vendors, different things to check out. There's still so much to do here. Of course, things kicked off around 1 o'clock here in downtown Green Bay for Fire Over the Fox. And everybody's just having a blast. It's getting busier and busier as the evening goes on. And if you're coming out here tonight, don't forget to stop by and say hi to us here at WFRV at the deck here. We have a great family-friendly, awesome show. We just had Miller and Mike doing some really fun clowning around for the kids. They had a great crowd. They were loving it. So definitely stop by, say hello. We're going to be here all night, just waiting for those fireworks to start.
All right, we thank you, Brittany. Now let's head over to the Lakeshore. Local 5's Nate Stewart live in Manitowoc right now with a look at what's going on there tonight. Hi, Nate.
Hey, Chris, and thank you. Happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July to everyone out there. That's right, we are live in Manitowoc, and the South Pier is set up behind me, and as you can tell, crews are getting ready for the 4th on the Shore fireworks special. That's set to kick off around 9 o'clock tonight and expected to last a good 45 minutes or so. And right now, people are just starting to file in here. They're kind of reserving their spots along the lakeshore here with Lake Michigan behind us, and there's a lot going on. There's bands playing some patriotic music, kind of getting everybody in the Independence Day spirit. There's a lot to do for the kids. There's some moon bounces, some games and prizes and face painting going on. And of course, grilling, right? That's everyone's favorite. So the smells of hot dogs, brats, and burgers are definitely filling the air. So there's lots to do. And again, the fireworks special, the 4th on the Shore, is set to kick off around 9 o'clock tonight. So if you're not doing anything, be sure to come on down here to Manitowoc, say hello to us, reserve your spot, and enjoy the show. But for now, we are live in Manitowoc. Nate Stewart, Local 5 News.
All right, we thank you, Nate. Now we're going to head down to the Fox Valley. Local 5's Melaine Wells is live in Oshkosh with what's in store there. Hi, Melaine.
Hi, Chris. Happy 4th to you from the Sawdust Days grounds here in Oshkosh. The million-dollar question for the last 10 minutes is, are you live? Are you live? Everyone, we are live! All right, as you can see, very excited down here in Oshkosh. A lot taking place at Sawdust Days. This festival is actually wrapping up a 5-day run, and by the time the fireworks go off tonight, there's going to be 150,000 people who have been through the festival grounds. Those fireworks are going to take off from an island tonight. Lots of dancing. It's all welcome down here at Sawdust Days. They're actually shooting them off from an island not far from where we're standing. We've been hearing a few test booms going up into the air. We're going to give you a sneak peek at exactly how those fireworks are set up during our show tonight, starting at 8 o'clock. You can come on down here, though, to Sawdust Days and take in a really great show. We're at the Midway. The historical village is just a little bit further up the lake, so to speak. So, Chris, for now, we'll send it back to you with a very enthusiastic crowd live here in Oshkosh. I'm Melaine Wells.
All right, good job, Melaine. All right, let's head now to our last destination for tonight's fireworks special, Fond du Lac. That's where Local 5's Cole Higgins joins us now live with more on the party plan there. Cole.
Hey, Chris, happy 4th of July, and happy 4th of July to all our viewers out there. If you're not here at Lakeside Park in Fond du Lac, getting ready to enjoy the fireworks that kick off right around 9:45. Now, there's already hundreds of people here, expected to be thousands later, but people are claiming their spots. Kids playing on the playground here, great set of swings and another playground. Behind that is the bandstand, where a symphonic band concert will kick off around 7:30 p.m. The bandstand here, that's been used for 4th of July concerts since 1901. The concert tonight is sponsored by the city of Fond du Lac, and then of course tonight's fireworks are sponsored by Festival Foods. Again, those will start right when the concert ends at about 9:45. Now, during our 8 o'clock show, that's 4th on 5, I'll talk to Fond du Lac city manager and a representative from Festival Foods to give us a little more insight about all of tonight's activities and the big fireworks show. I'll send it back to you, Chris. Live in Fond du Lac, Cole Higgins, Local 5 News.
All right, we thank you, Cole. Well, it's been a busy day in Green Bay as businesses prepared for huge crowds down along the city deck. Local 5's Jordan Lammers shows us how the city began to celebrate 240 years of freedom in the U.S.
Waving high above the Brown County Courthouse, the American flag, and on the ground below, another symbol of freedom, Green Bay's replica of the Liberty Bell, ringing loud throughout the city to kick off the 4th of July festivities.
The last couple of years have been great turnout. It's literally shoulder to shoulder out here in the late afternoon.
On the city deck, businesses like Hagemeister Park are getting ready for a crowd of nearly 100,000 people.
Typically, it's our largest day of the year. With it being on a Monday, we'll kind of see it's our first time having that here. So it's a big day for us, for sure.
We're from Chicago.
It's folks like Mike and Mary who traveled long distances to come see the fireworks in Green Bay.
We're looking forward. They say it's great. So they got a lot of food up here. Probably get a beer or two and just kind of enjoy the scenery. It's a lovely place.
This is our first time down on the city deck for the fireworks and the celebration, so we're very excited.
Regardless if you travel by foot or by boat, you are guaranteed to have a blast in Green Bay.
Having the river here and the city deck just amplifies the mood down here for all the businesses.
The boats are coming in, so it's got to be big. We're looking forward to it.
Looking forward to the grand finale.
We love America.
Yeah, we love America. Excited to celebrate her birthday.
Keeping it local in Green Bay, Jordan Lammers, Local 5 News.
And we thank you, Jordan. Now, if you can't make it out to the fireworks tonight, Local 5 will bring them to you. Our fireworks special starts at 8 tonight. We're going to be live in those 4 cities that we previewed, Green Bay, Manitowoc, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac for fireworks night over northeast Wisconsin. And for a complete list of all the fireworks displays in our area, head to our website. That's wearegreenbay.com. All right, paying tribute to veterans and the 4th of July at the same time. We're going to take you back to Oshkosh for a look at that city's annual Veterans Parade next.
And we have ideal conditions as we get ready to light up the Fox River here tonight. One of 4 live locations we're going to be bringing you the fireworks show to. Clouds mixing in with a little sunshine this late afternoon. The comfortable weather, though, coming to an end in the Storm Team 5 forecast.
And as we head to the break, another live look at downtown Green Bay as people make their way there for tonight's Fire Over the Fox Fireworks Show. We're back in a bit. Stick with us.
You're watching Local 5 News with Tom Zalaski and Aaron Davison.
Well, the Packers kept their playoff hopes alive with yesterday's win over the Bears at Soldier Field. It's making the last 2 games against the Vikings and the Lions all that much more important. Local 5 Sports Director Burke Griffin joins us now with a look at what's next for the team. Burke.
Well, that's right, Tom. Oh, how the tables have turned ever since Aaron Rodgers suggested that his team could run the table. The Packers won 4 straight games, and as a result of their recent success, Green Bay now controls their own destiny when it comes to making the postseason for the 8th straight time and winning another NFC North title. In yesterday's win over the Bears, Mike McCarthy's team jumped out to a 27-10 lead late in the 3rd quarter, only to see Chicago come back and tie the game up with just over a minute left in the contest. But that's when Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson came to the rescue with that huge bomb over the top, putting them in position to make a game-winning kick. Mason Crosby was money twice, icing it with a walk-off field goal, putting the Pack back in prime position with 2 weeks to go.
Just really, not to be cliche-ish, but just staying true to what's right in front of us. The challenges in itself of the scheduling have been plenty to focus on. Just trying to find out who's going to be healthy, who's not. That's been a challenge each week, and being on a 6-day schedule is a challenge. So we don't really need to, waste any time thinking about all the other stuff. And I think that's good for us. It keeps us focused on beating the Vikings Saturday. That's all that matters.
And we'll have more from head coach Mike McCarthy coming up later in sports. Tom.
Thank you, Bert. Turning now to national headlines tonight. Millions of Americans are in the extended deep freeze that we've been in as Arctic air and sub-zero wind chills continue for the Midwest and the Northeast. The cold is being blamed for about a dozen deaths on the nation's roads and highways. One of the deadliest crashes included a tanker truck crashing and exploding. This is Baltimore, Maryland. At least 2 people were killed in that 70-vehicle pileup. The weather also made travel a nightmare. 11,000 flights were delayed and another 4,000 were canceled. Overseas, at least 9 people are dead after a truck rammed into a crowded Christmas market in Berlin, Germany. Witnesses said the trucks tore through large wooden tables and stands. About 50 people were injured in the attack. Police are still investigating whether this crash was an accident or an attack. Russia's ambassador to Turkey was shot dead in what's being called a terrorist attack. The ambassador was giving a speech at the opening ceremony of a photo exhibit when an attacker opened fire. Police cars quickly swarmed the scene after the shooting. Police killed the attacker as he tried to make his way out of that building.
Welcome back. Don Quatso of Green Bay and Trevor Klemp of Appleton are taking some friends to the Phoenix men's basketball game on December 17th. They each win a pack of 6 tickets from our holiday showcase.
All right, we have a holiday treat for you this morning. It's the Christmas sounds of Steve March Torme, son of the classic crooner Mel Torme, and he is a special guest with us as well today. His daughter Ruby. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
And of course, our other Steve playing the piano too. I was always the accompanist too. Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about your famous family. So your dad is Mel Torme.
Yes.
He penned that famous Christmas song, and it's a big anniversary this year.
It's the 71st anniversary since it was written back in 1945 on a very hot day in the San Fernando Valley, which is often the way these Christmas songs are written. And this is also a special day for us because it's the first time Ruby is singing on television. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it works out.
Did your family spend a lot of times gathered around the piano? I mean, to have 3 generations of performers.
You know, we do that more now than we did before. I didn't grow up in the same household as my dad, but Ruby and her sister Sunny, we spent a lot of time doing music in the house. So it's a good time. I mean, I'm so thrilled that she sings so well. So this works out pretty well.
Well, I'm excited. And Ruby, you're also singing tomorrow with your dad too.
Yes.
It's tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's
tomorrow.
Saturday already.
Yeah.
It's Friday, isn't it? You're singing with the Fox Valley Symphony Orchestra tomorrow night. What's that like?
I don't know yet, but I'm pretty excited about it. That's the first time I've done something like that. So I think it's going to be pretty fun.
What's your favorite song that your grandfather penned?
I'd say the Christmas song. I really like it. It's very pretty.
Yeah, I figured for the first time of her singing on stage with me, throw her in front of a 65-piece orchestra. See how it goes. Well, what could go wrong?
Well, there's a wonderful backup then.
Exactly. If things go wrong, I just keep playing, keep playing.
And Steve, you also have a show coming up in Waiawega we wanted to mention.
Yeah, December 17th in Waiawega. It's called Mistletoe and Merriment, and it's at the Gerald Opera House in Waiawega. Going to use a quartet for that, and a little bit more jazz pop oriented, but this will be some holiday songs. It'll be great.
Details on the bottom of your screen, and they're going to be singing that very famous Christmas song now. Take it away.
You got it. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos.
Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe will help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loaded lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly.
And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to
Big ending?
you.